Every one of you watching this screen, look out.
Anything can happen in the next half hour.
What did I tell you about cartoons?
They've got a lot of brains, and they've got a lot of chutzpah.
Tell me how comic books make you feel, Dave.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious, and don't call me Shirley.
Hello, this is Franz Kantor, illustrator, cartoonist, and toon talker, and I'm here with
Jim Bridges, and I'm the president of the Australian Cartoon Museum. Now, what's so great about this bloke?
Frank Frazetta. It's a retrospective by the Grandmaster of Fantastic Art. Now, fantastic art is paintings or artwork that are to do with fantasy, paintings about fantasy like Tarzan and Robert Howard and things like that. Conan the Barbarian.
Frank Frazetta put the reality into fantasy.
Yeah. Most people will be familiar with the fantastic art of Frank Frazetta, and this is the second book, which is just titled Frank Frazetta, Book 2.
Yeah, my book got stolen too, yeah.
So this was put out in the early 70s.
Yep.
And this was like a stable of many artists and illustrators. This book is published, it's called Icon, a retrospective by Frank Frazetta.
How old is
Published by Underwood Books. This came out in the early 2000s, I believe, or the late 90s.
So it's called Icon because he's an icon within an icon.
Yeah. This is 1998.
He's an iconoblast as opposed to a...
Yeah. So this is a beautiful pencil study. He was best known for his action poses of heroes and also for his depictions of animals, especially animals' expressions. But we'll get into that as we talk about his work in general. This is more of an overview of his stuff from the very early days to the later paintings at the end of his life.
And he apparently painted women too, apparently.
Yeah. Okay. So this is Conan the Barbarian. This is probably, I think, the first time. Let's try and get something underneath that so we can stop it from reflecting into the camera. So this is an oil painting, classical oil painting style.
He put the barbarian into Conan.
But you can see this is typical of the highest part of his career when he was doing these beautiful oil paintings. So the distance, he created this incredible strong composition, and he would use a classical oil painting method technique in order to create these iconic images.
So what, he went to art school? He was trained?
Yes, he did. He went to classical art school.
Okay.
He was a classically trained painter.
But that's not...
And artist.
That's very unusual for a classic band foot and all that stuff. And that's a wonderful tiger, a lion. It's really powerful.
Yeah, but he'd love to explore and exaggerate, exaggerate using his power of expression and almost caricaturing the features of the lion.
Is that white out or is that rubber?
That's probably gouache, white gouache.
Okay.
Just to give some highlight peaks to the illustration.
Early work.
This an early watercolor work of Frank's. You could see it's looking very experimental and rushed.
Yeah.
Even with the character designs themselves.
Yeah.
This is an early pen or there's definitely brush there.
Yeah.
There's brush. Yeah, this is brush work. Might be pen over here. Very, very competent.
Different styles of
cross-hatching.
Yeah, in one picture.
Yeah.
And these are his influences. There's Alex Raymond.
Yeah.
Hal Foster.
Yep.
Yeah. That's...
Hal Foster, of course, did Prince
Valiant. That's really beautiful, isn't it? I can actually start to see how he was influenced by these guys. Yeah,
there he is, handsome guy, 1950s style.
With ink all over his hand.
Well, we hope it's ink.
Yeah, it's
Could be
ink.
blood.
I saw the first stuff I saw was these comic things.
Yeah, the cute animals. So
really beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
But he was a very accomplished painter, so his painting really understood light and shade, and really understood composition, and really understood the medium itself.
So do you know what school he went to?
You'd have to read into the, read through the biography.
Have to read the bloody book, do it?
You'd have to read it. There he is at 17 playing baseball. He's a very physical guy, very physical, and a lot of that's expressed in his drawings, in his poses, choice of poses. A lot of people, when they drew these characters back then, they didn't have really an understanding of the figure in motion, but he understood motion. The figure in motion. He understood action.
See, this is a Ben Gunn sort of character from Treasure Island in a science fiction story.
Yeah. Well, it's like a Buck Rogers cover.
Yeah.
Famous Funnies.
What year? 50.
1954.
Yeah.
That's with his wife Ellie.
Yeah.
Ellie.
Is that in or out of jail?
No, that would be in a basketball court or something. That's probably in Jersey.
Jersey. There's that old-fashioned 30s style of
the basket weave crosshatch effect.
Yeah. And look at this rock. Look at the birds on it.
Yeah.
There's no. So that's right. He worked
Little
with
Annie Fanny.
Al Cap.
Al Cap for what's her name? Lil Abner.
Yeah, Lil Abner. Yeah. And this is stuff he did with Will Elder.
Will Elder, yeah.
Okay. For Playboy.
Yeah. This is a lovely watercolor of Tarzan.
Yeah, heroic style.
You can start to see
that's a typical
composition and this layering of depth.
Typical Frazetta sort of tree, isn't it?
Yeah,
and these are great.
And typical Frazetta as well as Frazetta. This is some of his combat comic covers.
Yeah.
You can start to see this. There's this elements of these really powerful compositions that are coming through.
Sort of
action shots,
like the cigar and the angle and the hand and this face.
Two-fisted zombie.
Yeah.
Action.
There's sort of a bit of humour there. Look at this. Nice use of black.
Very much so. He loved drama.
Look how chunky and solid that is.
Yeah.
God.
He was quite an accomplished caricaturist as well.
That's old Ringo.
But it was, he was really good at creating a sense of mood and menace.
Oh yeah, I can see Kubert in this. I wonder if Kubert was influenced by
Joe Kubert.
Yeah. And this is from Fire
Derek.
Yeah, apparently painted. This is from Fire and Ice, the Bakshi film.
Yeah.
This is sketches for the ideas.
For the Neanderthals.
Yeah. This is his family.
Yeah. Oh wow, This is one of his later pieces. This is in 1989. This is I think a couple of years before he died.
It's sort of cut down, isn't it? Sort of basic for him.
A few years before he died.
Very basic for him. And there's the man himself.
There he is. Yeah. That's him before, that's him after.
Yeah.
There's a telling tale there, I'm sure.
Look at that. Look at those eyes.
Yeah.
He's seen the world.
He has. But, the world that he's seen is really incredibly powerful. This man, you can't really take this guy to... you can't really explain the influence of Frank Frazetta.
Well, this is where I loved his stuff too. I thought he did really funny and really bold.
But he opened up a lot.
William Stout, of all people, he knows what he's talking about, doesn't he?
Bill Stout, the Dinosaurs book, of course, is very influenced by Frank Frazetta. This is Peter Sellers, After the Fox.
Yeah.
You can start to see he started doing these Jack Davis style movie posters of all of these characters, which is no mean feat, believe me.
Yeah.
and they're beautifully done in watercolor.
Yeah.
Look at
Robert Morley.
Robert Morley, yeah.
Alec Guinness.
Yeah. Gina Lola Brigida or somebody.
It does look like Gina Lola Brigida. And there's these...
Yeah, pardon me, but Your Fangs Are in My Neck, which was also called The Fearless Vampire Killers. This is The Busybody with Sid Caesar. He loved these, these beautiful Jack Davis style, caricatured
well, that's Jack
figures.
Davis, isn't it, really?
Yeah, so it's bringing it, it's showing a love of cartoon and exaggeration and caricature and painting all in one. It's beautiful. Here he is with
Clint
Eastwood. This was the
Juggernaut, not Juggernaut.
what was
not
it called?
Juggernaut.
The Gauntlet.
The Gauntlet, yeah.
That was a beautiful painting.
Yeah, it's a very epic picture, isn't it?
Yeah, classical composed. Closed
triangles.
composition.
He's into triangles, big time.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
This is what I was talking about. This is canvas. This is oil on canvas. So the way he painted was a very classical technique where you paint thin and then get thicker with the highlights. So usually the darkest parts of the painting would be just a thin layer of paint, and the thickest parts would be where all the highlights are.
Okay. Oh, that's a part of that famous picture.
Look. This was the first poster that I ever got, and this is a cropped version of the painting.
Yeah.
But his attention to details, understanding form. Form is a three-dimensional representation of the characters of the objects that he's trying to paint. So not only did he understand composition and contrast of light and shade, but also form was beautifully represented in his paintings, and texture. The texture of the metal over here and the marble over here. I mean, nobody could paint like this.
That's very
We'd
nice.
never seen anything like this outside of an art gallery.
That's antique by marble. That's not ordinary stuff.
So he brought this sort of classical, classical painting aesthetic to fantasy art, which nobody had seen before.
Okay.
Everyone had seen like brushwork or pen work or something like this, but of course, with the beginning of the 70s or the 60s, beginning of the 60s, you had full color magazines
the
and
colouring
full color
changed,
paperback book covers, of which all of these are from, right? Then you're able to get, reproduce beautiful paintings like this in all their glory. This is from, I think, cover of Creepy #7. This is this is a cover worked out by Roy Krenkel.
Ah.
And then he would
he did EC,
put his
didn't
take
he?
on
Did he
the
do stuff
composition.
he did stuff on EC Comics,
Yeah.
didn't he? That's lovely, isn't it?
Uncle Creepy.
Yeah, and that's wonderful, look at that.
Yeah. That's an oil on panel. You can see the textured panel underneath. And the thick paint is the white. The light colours are thicker paint. And the glazes, the thin paint is the darker ones.
And there's that
So very
picture.
tonal.
There's that frame. That's lovely too. Can we move the print up to have a look at this?
Yeah. So look at the power in those lions. They're like caricatured, to increase the exaggerate their power and their ferociousness.
Yeah, they're really ferocious and scary.
And really, really beautiful.
And those jaws, you believe those jaws could break you.
Yeah. So you've got like a leopard here, which is going from a crouch or a sitting position to a pounce. He's still chained up, but the chain's broken. Yeah. And there's a guy in a turban, whatever. He's got a knife. I don't know whether he's going to kill her or kill the leopard, but there's drama immediately in the scene, and fear. Look at her eyes,
Is that a sycamore? Are you glad to see me?
Yeah.
Oh yes.
This is Vampirella over here, Vampirella 1, the cover. This is another beautiful example of his technique. Very transparent. The reason why I got so excited about Frazetta, and a lot of artists did, of course, in the 60s and 70s, was because he studied classical painting, and his paintings had this air of unfinishedness about it.
Yeah.
So when you look at it, you've got to immediately, you can understand how he painted this masterpiece, this incredibly dynamic painting with such ease.
Well, he reminds me, I forget his name, but he used to paint cowboys. Had a similar...
Remington.
Was it Remington? I think he
Well, you
studied
could look
Remington
at,
as well.
at works by other American illustrators like Remington and N.C. Wyeth and Schoenhofer and
other
a lot
stuff
of-
we've done before and looked at. There's all sorts of detail in the background. This guy just does.
Yeah, well, these are shapes that you're
Yeah.
kind of seeing there, which are created by a rag.
Yeah.
Pressed into the
Yeah.
wet canvas.
Yeah.
This is gesso, I think, over here, which is in the priming stage. You put in this sort of paste and you give it a sort of a rough texture. So he's using illustration techniques with fine art tools, which are oil paint, oil on canvas, to create these very powerful, very potent
That's a classic
paintings,
cover. That's a
fantasy paintings.
That's a creepy cover, isn't it? It's
Yeah, that's a
classic.
Yeah,
Old skulls and. Oh yeah, Beauty and the Beast.
yeah. This would be a National Lampoon cover, I think.
Look, there's the Beast.
Oh no, movie poster for it's oil and panel 1976. So this is a bit later on. I got the impression that that's actually from it's Warren Publishing. Oh, that's Eerie. That's an Eerie cover.
Okay.
Wow. Okay. Awesome. So the role reversal of
Yeah,
Fay
yeah.
Ray and King Kong.
And of course, look at the
This is
teeth on that.
Vampirella.
Look at the teeth on it. There's no skull that I've seen. You've got teeth like that. He's got a great blend of eroticism and power, and decay. Like there's decay in this picture.
Yeah.
She's part of the.
This is a classic pyramid
Yeah.
style composition, but
We looked at that
which he uses a lot. He uses very simple compositional elements, but packs it with a lot of punch.
Yeah. See, that's a really.
That
Powerful.
is, if you ever get the chance to look at the paperback book cover of this,
Yeah.
it's incredible.
Well, it's better than this.
Yeah, much better. It's the red for some reason just
Yeah.
jumps out at you.
Red's a problem.
Yeah.
And these are the snow giants out of they're out of the Norse legends,
Yeah,
aren't
so
they?
all of these are paperback book covers, right? But look at the amount of work that he's gone into them.
Yeah.
Now, he used to do these covers and stipulate that I'll do the cover for $500 or whatever the price is, but I want the painting back, because he knew, because of the publishing had printing had become much better.
Yeah.
That he could.
And
put these out
that's
himself as
60s.
posters.
What time's that? Like technically,
60s.
printing became better.
These were at the time when he did these illustrations. So this is 1967. He saved these paintings because they were so good. He wanted to do something with
the
them.
power is even in the chains.
Yeah. So this is his Conan series, and really there were no reason for anybody to read a Conan story up until this. He started doing these covers. Conan was sort of like it was a sort of a minor fantasy character like Tarzan or something. But
So
of
what
course,
came
Tarzan
first?
had all the movies.
The comics or the covers? The
What do you
Conan
mean?
comics. What came first?
Well, the covers came in the 60s.
Oh, okay. Because Conan came a little later,
Yeah.
didn't he?
Again, this is another really dramatic use of composition.
Look at the light in that.
Light and shade.
Very
And
100
typical of
years ago.
Frazetta, you could look at these things and see creatures in the shadows.
Yeah. Well, that's just a basic picture.
Yeah.
But
This
this
is
is
Bran McMorn, which is another Robert E. Howard story. Again, he'd use the textured, palette knife to create a underpainting. This is a painting of his wife.
Okay.
This is Ellie.
And these are his children. Yeah.
But look at the beautiful wolves. I mean,
They are beautiful.
and even the Bagheera like panther.
And the beautiful frog.
Yeah.
And the butterflies.
Well, this is parrot. You know, flowers, the vines, the tortured plants and things, the mushrooms.
How do you know that's his wife?
I'm pretty sure it's based on Ellie. Golden
that
Girl.
looks. What's her name? The other girl from Little Rock, Jane Russell.
So this is Buck Rogers.
Yeah, different style.
Yeah.
Different. He's using ink.
But look at the work he's put into Buck Rogers' arm. He's made Buck Rogers.
Well, it's the hairiest arm
for a hero.
Buck,
yeah.
And look,
but he
look
loved
at
these.
this.
He loved these. The chance to get into the musculature and to show this drama of the rim light around just to pick up the little details of muscles and sinews and hair. And
but
things.
all this
He
works
gave it
together.
so much character.
all this works together. It's not just decoration. It's just all
but
works.
look at this. He didn't even do just. It's not just a cave opening.
No.
It's a shattered hole in this cliff. You know, so everything's increased dramatically. Sense of drama.
And here's this
This is Tarzan.
triangle.
Daughter of the
And
jungle.
Look at the line here. Look at the line on the back.
Yeah.
Here. Look at this.
Yeah, very moody as well. So to create atmosphere and contrast.
I think
and
we
drama
need to have a
and
look at this.
composition. Very powerful.
Yeah.
Just that's what you can do with a pen. Yeah.
Well, not everybody can do that with a pen.
No, this is one of his earlier watercolors. You can see the watercolor, because of the nature of the medium, is not as impactful
Yes.
as these oil paintings. This is Princess of Mars. He did a few of these for some really
Like
great
this.
ones.
No, he does.
That's like a beautiful tiger, saber-toothed tiger.
Yeah, but it's like
a caricature of a.
Oh, but that's right. But it's got the power in it, and
That's how he got it. That's how he got that increase in oomph, in power of the characters. You're able to caricature it. So he brought into the mix in this fine art. I mean, that could be. You get rid of that, and it's almost like the Gulf Stream painting.
Oh yeah, Windsor McKay. Windsor
McKay.
Sorry.
Adventures in Paradise.
You're talking about that American artist.
Yeah. Windsor something Windsor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember this one. I remember this.
Yeah. This is, I mean, such power and beauty and detail only where you need it, and then it would blend off. And so you'd have things that are half hidden in the mist, you know, just alluded to these details. Whereas with Boris, he would use this much more.
Boris who? Boris who?
Vallejo. He would use a Frazetta-like style.
Oh yeah, but yeah.
Wouldn't capture the movement.
Well,
the drama.
So
he just loved flesh. He really loved flesh, and you could really tell the way that he create these forms.
Yeah.
You know, the beautiful stuff. Yeah. So compositions like that, which are today we look at, you know, reminiscent of say Mignola, with these crossed simple forms that create this contrast in direction, drama for the compositional.
So besides doing film
so your eyes
posters,
your eyes follow a path directed by the artist.
besides doing the film posters, he wasn't influential on films in the sense that people used his work to.
He was
get that
influential
look.
on looks. So he's influential on Conan as a look. He was influential on fantasy art, on you know, a classical approach to painting, illustration. He knew his stuff. He knew how to paint. He knew color. He knew composition. He knew all of the classical elements that you bring together in a painting. But the subject matter was more pulp oriented, more contemporary.
Yeah.
So we'd never seen that before.
Well, there's a lot of storytelling going on here.
Well, there's a lot of story in Fire and Ice. This is,
Yeah.
in many ways, Bakshi's attempt at another Lord of the
Oh,
Rings.
look at that.
Yeah. So there's this sort of contrast of angles and things, which Mignola is a very big...
Mignola.
Yeah, Mignola?
Yeah.
Mike Mignola,
Yeah.
Hellboy.
Yeah, he's what you can see. Yeah.
It's just contrasting of angles and things. Compositions made up of the simplest
Lovely
shapes that your eye
sketch,
can
but
pick
it's still
out.
a great sketch, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of fluidity.
Yeah.
But just, simple devices. This framing device here just drags your eyes down to the drama of the apes.
Yeah.
And you could see where he really explored expression. It wasn't just enough to do the caricature of the animal.
Yeah.
You wanted to explore some meaning behind the expressions.
Well, he's having fun here.
This
He's
is
not.
Ellie again. Yeah. So there was a sort of a look, this sort of burning expressions from many of his women that he painted that had this sort of...
Would you call that bored heroic look?
Well, it's sword and sandal.
Yeah.
I mean, you'd seldom see anything like this.
I know. Where does the snake?
Fantasy illustration.
Where does the snake and the man?
But people have compared this to classical Greek sculptures, where they're trying to sort of get some feeling of live movement.
Yeah, he's certainly got that.
Yeah.
And there's power and movement. It's not just the movement.
There's so much tension, you get a strong feeling of movement. I mean, even this, with a sword, the hair and the sword become one.
Yeah.
Just
it's
because.
Stuck to it because they're in Antarctica,
Well, we don't know the reason.
But look at these.
Just because.
I mean, look at them. I mean, there's no... These are...
But they're caricatures of polar bears,
yes.
right? Each one has individual
but
personality.
His caricature in the power...
Yeah.
And the scariness
of
understanding,
of the beast. Even in the shadows, understanding solid drawing anatomy. That means drawing more than you can actually see in the final.
Yes. It's like those lines he's drawn.
Yeah. So you can only get that way by understanding anatomy and being able to draw through the forms.
Yeah.
Show movement, balance, movement. These are beautiful T-Rexes, beautiful Neanderthals. I mean, he just fills it up with a lot of really incredibly exciting drama and a narrative that's just perfect, I mean, for any kid growing up, right? I grew up on Turok.
And Son of Stone.
Yeah. So I was interested in Indians and Neanderthals and dinosaurs and this prehistoric planet and all this sort of stuff. This is this is the dreams of kids, and he knew that. He shared the same dreams of everybody else, of every little boy growing up, to show adventure. And
so when he does a picture like that, he knows the credit's going to be up here, the title, but he's also got stuff here. Is that why he's done it that way? Because he knows there's going to be added extra.
Paperback book covers work differently than magazines. Magazines would have titles at the top. Paperbacks would have titles anywhere. They could be at the top or at the bottom because the whole book is on display in a shelf. Yeah. What can you say? Look at that. It's the most beautiful caricature of a leopard that I've ever seen. It's just so perfect. And it's influenced so many people, these things. So many artists have been influenced by him and influenced again by the artists who are influenced by him. So a lot of people ascribe to him, Frazetta, that's the guy that paints metal. Yes, metal. He does. He paints metal really, really well,
So he would have used models?
Yeah, he would have used models, Polaroids probably. Okay, so this is his, perhaps his most famous piece, The Death Dealer. You can see the detail in that. Look at the power in that horse. Just amazing.
It's amazing, all right. That looks like Boris pinched that image a lot.
Let's not go down that track.
Okay.
So this is, more later pieces of his after he did The Death Dealer for Bakshi's Fire and Ice film. But, was it Death Dealer that he used? I think it was. Anyway, Death Dealer was like a very popular character for the last years of his life that he started working on, exploring these very dynamic paintings.
Also he is someone like The Death Deal is such a great picture that probably he got commissioned to do other ones of it that never got published, like private work. Is there any of his private stuff surfaced? Like that's Death Deal, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Oh, yeah. But look at that horse. Look at the head going that way, the neck twisting that way, the legs coming at you.
Yeah, you couldn't get this from a photograph. You'd have to. You couldn't get reference of a horse doing that. You'd have to know anatomy and be able to draw through all of the different forms and action. And look at the snake. I mean, it's perfect. It's absolutely perfect. So even though having this style that has this tight, completeness, and then basically renders off into a very sort of unformed shapes, which is just sort of scumbled into the canvas.
Scumbled is a good word. Scumbled.
Yeah, well, just very dry brush, very sort of rough, sort of giving you a very atmospheric effect of sharp and blurry.
And the colouring behind the picture really helps.
Yeah.
The 3D effect of it, and also...
But not to get in the way of contrast. So the contrast is still there. All the values of light and shade are still there, and it's not being destroyed by the use of colour. Yeah, that's amazing pose. Absolutely. This is so typical of his stuff. To do that pose, you'd have to break bones. You couldn't basically shoot anything like this.
No. You're right about the caricature, and of course, the moon's rapture.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very relaxed nudes. Very relaxed.
Well,
nudes.
he was a very relaxed dude. Yeah. I mean, there he is in his studio in his shorts, having a little sketch.
And he's got his little skull there, looking at him.
Yeah.
So these pictures are small.
They're not big.
Okay. And here we are.
Yeah, well, he used to sell prints, so, you could always buy prints when you went to his book. All of these posters, you could purchase as a print. And, of course, a little 14-year-old kid like me was all over this because he actually sold the prints himself.
Smart.
He printed them, he paid for the printing, he actually published them and held stock in his gallery in his house, and then eventually his gallery. And
right,
then sold
okay.
Responsible
Very
for.
Smart.
Yes, exactly.
That's a great picture, isn't it? Look at it.
Yeah, the Witch King from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Oh, one of the kings from Lord of the Rings. Chessmen of Mars, I had a poster of this as well. This was fantastic. So have a look at that.
Plus all the background, plus all the...
Yeah. You just want to be there.
1970.
Yeah. Incredible.
Oh, this is Mars, yeah.
Yeah, Mars.
Yeah.
The Savage Apes of Mars, John Carter.
Okay, well, this is Frank Frazetta.
And Frank Frazetta.
And this is Franz Kantor.
And I'm Franz Kantor, thank you.
No, I was going to swap over to that.
And Jim Bridges.
Yes, saying we'll see you next time.
It's bye from me.
And it's hello to Patreon from you.
Don't forget, you can support us on Patreon. We've got some big plans involved, so catch us up on there.
Yeah, and we've got over 200 films. So, if you don't like this one, there's one you're going to like. Okay, bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Frank.
Thanks for the sour persimmons, cousin.